They are acknowledging it, they are saying it, and it will happen. That's usually how it works. They discuss it, cross the floor, cancel. Discuss it again, bring it up a year later, we'll talk about it. And then 2 years after that, it's approved. Well, what's happening? I got to be careful how I word this in this video here. It is going to go on YouTube, but you might want to go to Odyssey and see our last episode of Mike in the Night Christmas special. Really good callers in from all over the Commonwealth. Uncensored, on everything. So you're going to want to catch up on Mike in the Night. You want to catch up from episode 400 if you want to catch up with the drama. Anyways, what are they saying? What's the Financial Post reporting? Diane Francis, make the unvaccinated pay for their own health care. Public health measures should not be confused with freedom of choice or rights. So we had the great leader here in Canada come on television and basically state that the Canadian Constitution of Rights and Freedoms, or the Canadian, our Freedom Act, it doesn't mean anything and could go against it. So this is terrible news for Canadians. As you know, I am in Canada. But this is getting way out of control. People, they're having a really tough time selling this anymore. We knew it from the start. We didn't bandwagon on later. We've been going for years and years with this, and years before. So this is something that eventually, obviously, they have to find a way to erase this public spending that these governments did. Governments have been spending more than what they've been collecting. They've been very heavily dependent on money laundering to keep the housing markets going, and illegal money from China and digital currency being brought over while the locals starve. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, but we've been talking about this for years. So here it is. The Omicron variant is the Grinch that stole Christmas, as well as, the Grinch is not a true story, so the Grinch doesn't exist, right? Stole Christmas as well as the economic recovery. It is time for Canada's provinces to consider the nuclear option, denying public funded health care to anyone who is eligible to get the jab, but refuses to do so, and forcing them to pay for COVID treatment out of their pocket. So here's the deal, guys. We already have them on record many times on Mike in the Night. We can't say it here. Many times, the people that created this stuff that tell us that there's obviously, why, right? So we know what's going on here, and this is a very big political agenda, and it's taken a grip on about 90% of the world at the start. Now it's about 80%. And they had to spark something up in Africa real quick because they're just like as business as usual down there. So they had to kind of balance it out a bit. You know what I'm saying? Given that the Omicron seems to infect the vaccinated individuals much more easily than other variants, it is increasingly likely that we will all contract the virus at some point, medically speaking. That's herd immunity. However, the vaccinated are much less likely to end up in hospital or die, while the unvaccinated will continue to strain the healthcare systems and force hospitals to postpone surgeries and turn away Canadians who needed treatment for illness. So we did a video about that lady's son who basically went through this and ended up losing her son because he needed emergency surgery back in 2019. They marked it. They actually made the appointment for early 2020. That was canceled, and he ended up dying in his early 20s, right? So this is more people. I don't know why they're not taking focus on the opioid and fentanyl overdoses and the mixing of the cocktail of these drugs into regular drugs, killing the youth, wiping out people, wiping out entire families. But no one's looking at this. They're all looking at the same BS. No one's looking. Why? Because the money from those fentanyl sales get reinvested into the real estate market in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. That's important, and they don't want to stop that wheel of economy, right? So there's a lot that we've covered on this channel over the years. So I kind of want to throw this out there. This is what's happening now, right? So this is why. So a lot of Canadians stayed in Canada because of the healthcare system. And now it's very plain to see that the healthcare system is completely crumbled. My dad, God rest his soul, in 2018 was diagnosed with cancer when he came to visit me here in British Columbia. But that's impossible. He does blood work in Ontario. He does all kinds of stuff and checks for everything and does biopsies. Oh, well, we don't want to make you feel upset or anything. This is in BC. But he's had cancer for about 4 years now. But they didn't want to tell you guys. They didn't want to tell us because it would be a strain on the healthcare system. So if I lived in the United States and I paid for my healthcare or I paid for my insurance, my dad could have been okay because you know why? At least they would have caught it early and he would have been still alive today. But you see what happens when you have socialized medicine? Now they're going to want us to pay socialized medicine out of pocket. What happens to my property tax? Do I pay it in full? Do I get a deduction on when I buy gasoline at the pump and pay less carbon or whatever they want to charge us in taxes? That's a major issue because a good portion of our money is supposed to go to our healthcare system. But Canada's sending money to Pakistan and other countries to help them with gender studies and stuff. And none of it makes any sense when our youth are dying on the street and we're not taking care of the local, and that's been a major issue. Right? I believe this problem started in 2010. Dominic, that was on the show last night, believes it started several hundred years before Christ, where it started forming. And then we had the Raven on the show who believed that this problem started in the 2008 crash. Then we had, I think it started in 2010 when the middle class was getting bought out by foreign Chinese investors, Chicoms. Right? So, Chicoms, Chinese communists. And, so that's just, where we're at. Don't forget to check out episode 406 of Mike and the Night Christmas special. And if you like Mike and the Night, go back and watch back episodes. The call-ins are incredible from all over the Commonwealth. And now they're going to want us to pay for healthcare out of pocket. So what? But what about politicians? A lot of them are exempt from taking the jab. What about them? Do they still get the free healthcare? I don't know how it works. I don't know what the balance, it doesn't make any sense. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Lots of love. God bless. Stay strong. Merry Christmas, guys. Tomorrow's going to be Christmas Eve, so I'm pretty excited for that. We'll talk soon. Lots of love. Be good to each other, please. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Reunite with your family. Love everybody. It's so much easier to love than to hate, okay? Lots of love. God bless.